I don't know when I started keeping it. There's no title, no folder, no formal record, but I know exactly who's on it. The list. People who hurt me, betrayed me, walked away when I needed them most. Some names I thought I'd moved on from. Some names I've circled again and again. I used to think the list made me stronger, but if I'm honest, it's made me tired. This season on Other People's Shoes, we're opening up the pages, not to fix it, to admit the list exists, and ask what it's really costing us to keep it. Welcome to Season 23, The List. Now, here's your host, Neil Matthews.
Yes, welcome in one and all. Again, it's Other People's Shoes. So excited that you've stopped by today. Really excited about today's show. I don't know about anybody else. Show of hands out there, you like a light blue colored sky. I know it's a weird way to maybe start the show off, but let me tell you, it's summertime. I hear DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince in my ear just singing that summertime jam. I actually put it on my playlist recently. Miss the nostalgicness. Is that a word, nostalgicness? The nostalgic of that song. And it always makes me think of summertime. It always makes me think of those blue skies. Summer, it never rains, it seems like, in summer. But you know what also makes me think of the light blue sky? I know this is going to shock some. It also makes me think of the University of North Carolina. And recently, I have now donned another tattoo. I know. Listen, this one's better though. The Ram was good, but I feel like this is like a step up. If you know, you know. It is the Argyle pattern on my arm now. It is on my right arm. So the Ram is on the left, like bicep, I guess I would say. And now the Argyle is on like the bend of my right arm. And it stands out. My wife and daughter even said, Dad, that's a statement piece. So I'm not sure what that is. Luckily for us today, we have someone here that is going to hopefully make the statement. And I'm excited to sit with him. I've gotten to know him through a good friend of mine, Lindsay Graham, who runs 94 Feet of UNC. I've been kind of doing double duty, in a sense, Deion Sanders style, playing both roles, like a host on both areas. I think Deion always does it better than I do. Through Linzel, I want to give him a shout out. 94 Feet, go subscribe, go like, all the things that you're supposed to do. He introduced me to this gentleman. I'm excited. He's Tar Heel royalty in my mind. He is actually the fourth Tar Heel, maybe fifth Tar Heel that we've had on here. I don't know. We've lost count because there's been a few of them. Help me welcome in my new friend, Terrence Newby. Newby, how are you today?
I'm good, Neil. How are you, man?
I'm great. They can't see it, but you can see it. You can verify. I wore the 21, which you donned at Carolina.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I wore that specifically for you. I went to the closet. I was going to throw on the 15. I was like, no, Newbie deserves the 21.
I appreciate it, bro, for sure.
Who in your mind wore the best 15? Now, I know that wasn't your number. There have been a lot of people that wore 15 and 21. We'll start with 15 because I have in my mind the best 15, but who's your best 15?
Of course, I'm going to be a little biased. My teammate for 2 years, they call him half man, half amazing. My man, Vince Carter, definitely the best 15.
That's the one I was thinking of. In fact, little known fact, if my wife and I had had a son, we were actually toying with the idea of naming him Carter.
Nice.
And when we go to places, when they ask for a name, my response is always Carter. And my daughter didn't get that for the longest time. And maybe this is where we get a little sad at first. Hopefully not. My wife and I lost a child before my daughter. And so in my mind of keeping the idea of having a son in my life alive, I say Carter is a little homage to maybe that moment.
Right.
I wanted a Carter. I mean, I got an 80. Don't get me wrong. That's my daughter. I got an 80.
Yeah.
But I always wanted a son. Come on, God, What are you doing?
All us men always want us a boy, man, and keep the tradition in the family going.
That's right. I just envisioned basketball games. I envisioned AAU. I envisioned, him watching Carolina games with me. That's what I envisioned.
I mean, it still could happen. It still could happen with a girl, for sure.
When Carolina's on, my daughter leaves the room because she's like, Dad, you're insufferable.
She's traumatized when you watching the game.
I can't even be around you right now. I can't even be around you.
I've definitely gotten like that. Like, my wife looked at me crazy a few times. Luckily, she's a Tar Heel fan too, so it works out.
I bought my wife a Tar Heels shirt. It's a workout shirt, and she wears it from time to time when Carolina's playing. It's rare. Nice. And then when I was out there in 23, I bought her a hoodie, and I thought, okay, here we go. She's going to embrace it finally. And no, she much like most people, she's like, no, I don't want to be around you right now for the next 40 minutes. Then you
Some
can
people
come
don't
back to
understand
normal.
it,
They
man,
don't.
you
They
know?
don't get it. They don't get it. They really don't get it. All right. Well, on to you, newbie. I'm excited you're here. As we already talked about, Lindsay Graham did a good introduction to you and me, and you've been doing some stuff over there also on 94 Feet of UNC. Great podcast for those Tar Heel fans. I'm not necessarily plugging it. I'm just trying to say that that's the relation, and so people calm down now. That's how we connected. I like to always say how we got. That's how we got here. I always like to say how we got here. I think that's important. I don't know, maybe not.
Shout out to Zell, man, for sure.
He's a good cat, and actually, I found him. He interviewed Andy Bagwell. He hates Duke so much, as do I, and I think you do as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was jealous that Andy had sat with Lindsell, and so that's how I got connected with Lindsell, actually, was because of that. The long story of how I met Lindsell. Help me with this before we get started. I love to lead every show with this question, and that's this. What size shoes do you wear?
12.
That was pretty easy. They'll hopefully get a little harder. I know there's only one brand to wear, but maybe you're different. Maybe there's other brands or style of shoe to wear, but is there a style of shoe you love to wear the most, or brand of style of shoe you love to wear the most?
It's only one for me, man. It's the GOAT, MJ. My very first pair of Jordans, I think I was 11, 12 years old maybe, and they were the white, black, and red 4s. Eventually, like, I ended up playing basketball in them in my city league and all that stuff. That Christmas is one I'll never forget because that was my first pair that my mom actually broke down and got them for me. I'll never forget that one. So now when they come back out, every time they came back out, I always got me a pair.
So Jordan 4s were your first Jordans. And how old were you again? Roughly.
I had to
Good
be
guess.
11, 12 years old.
Okay, 11, 12. I didn't get my first pair until I was almost 40.
Wow.
And I bought Jordan 32s. They have the, I guess you could almost call them like pinholes for every championship. So they came out, I think, like just after 2017, because the 17 is on there from that amazing 17 team that did amazing things. That was my first pair, was actually those. And since then, I've bought multiple pairs. I actually have a pair of Jordan 4s that actually sit over here. I have a couple of different pairs. I even have the 11s. They're back there.
Yep.
Those 11s I wore in Chapel Hill. I snuck onto the floor at the end of the Lehigh Carolina game in 23, and I faked like I was shooting a free throw. My brother-in-law got an amazing picture of me. And then, of course, the police about arrested me to get me off the floor. I was like, listen, I came a long way for this.
No, the security is serious about that stuff,
I guess so. Yeah, that must be. I should have been with you. Those shoes, those 11s, have not touched Oregon ground. They've only touched Chapel Hill ground. So they're sacred to me. I've retired them. I don't wear them. I don't even put them on anymore. I look at them and I'm like, oh, they're so nice.
That's an amazing story right there, bro.
Is that obsession? I don't know. Tell my friends that that's not an obsession.
Fans like you, bro. Like,
right?
For real. Like,
okay.
We really do.
All right. Newbie says it's okay. It's okay. I'm in this series called The List. I had initially talked to you and Zell about it a while back when we were doing some show together, I'm sure, Carolina related, of course. And you had said to me, just, I think casually, you're like, I got a story for that. And I was like, of course, all ears. I love the fact that you played at Carolina. I'm not saying I worship you because that's only Jesus. I will say it's pretty cool that you've gotten to do some things that I've always dreamed about as a kid. You've gotten to sit in that Dean Smith Center. You've gotten to be in the locker room. You even got coached by the man himself, Dean Smith, which in my mind is the best coach of all time. Hands down, nothing against Roy, Huber, any of those guys. He's the best of all time. I don't care who you say, he is the best of all time. I don't care. Sure. Phil Jackson, no, best of all time. Yeah. Doug Collins, no, best of all time. Dean Smith.
Absolutely.
John Calipari, don't even know who he is. You had said that you had in your mind a list of someone that you've had a hard time forgiving. So who would be on that number one spot list for you that has been hard to forgive?
For me, it was my dad, for sure. The first 10 years of my life, my parents were still together. They split. It was things that I didn't understand, the way that I was as a kid in those years. I had a really horrible temper, and it really showed in sports when I lost. Like, I hate to lose. The reaction I had was horrible. And I mean, boo-hoo crying, throwing my glove, whatever it may be. Never knew where that anger was coming from. As you get older and understand it, it was because of the things that was going on at home. As I got older and when that relationship was done, things changed for me in school or in the neighborhood or with my sports teams. I handled things better. That anger, that part of my life was done. I didn't have that traumatic situation going on a regular basis. Because it's just some things that I went through and seen as a kid that I feel like no child should ever have to go through. We can't choose our family. We can't help who we're born to or whatever that may be. Those things that I was dealing with then really took a toll on my everyday life. Talk about the things that I had a problem with was people deal with addictions differently, very different, and they affect everybody different. For me, at that point in the late 80s, early 90s, man, the crack came on the scene and it took over a lot of people's life. A lot of people's families changed during those times. And I can remember that affecting my lifestyle because that's what happened with my dad. My dad picked up a habit he had a hard time putting down, and I'm not sure that he ever got it under control up until the last few years of his life in a nursing home, in a hospice and all that stuff. He ended up dying from pancreatic cancer. The lifestyle that he lived definitely didn't help any of that stuff. Exposed to drug culture early in my life and not understanding it because I had never seen anything like that before. I watched crack take over like my neighborhood or other family members, not just my dad, but I had it on both sides of my family. I dealt with people's addiction. Him being there the way he should have been, it's not like, he moved out of town, moved to another state. We were still in the same town. And mind you, where I'm from, South City, North Carolina, is only about 10,000 people. It's one of those where everybody knows everybody. Getting him to come around and things like that was like pulling teeth. Like I can remember football games where myself and my older brother, who's 2 years older than me, were on the same team. When I was a sophomore, my brother was a senior. My dad, out of the 12 games we played that year, he might have been at 2. And you had 2 kids out there playing. All of that stuff, I held it in so long, like to the point where I never got disrespectful towards him when I absolutely would have been well within my right, could have took it there. I always give my mom credit. She let me make my own decisions when it came to my relationship with my dad after they split. She never downed him. She never talked bad about him. She let me make my own decisions. And I feel like that's what made our relationship, for us to even have one for the rest of my life. No matter what the situation was, he still was my dad. No matter how I felt about his decisions, like it wasn't going to change it. I became distant for a while through high school. He would come around the games every once in a while and stuff like that, but not often. I can't remember the last time I had a birthday present, card, or anything like that growing up. After they split, I don't remember maybe once or twice birthday presents coming by to tell me happy birthday or calling me telling me happy birthday. Like all of that stuff just kind of went out the window. And me not understanding at that age and that time in my life, not understanding what addiction does to people. Like I have a lot better understanding now. Back then I had no idea how addiction just took over everything. That was the most important thing for him at that point.
It's interesting you say that. Kids that see their parents doing drugs, if they have that same mindset that they're choosing the drug over the kid, they love the drug over the kid. I've heard people say for years on the show and even in my life that they're like, you don't know the power of addiction. I'm like, no, I kind of do. I've had my demons. I've had my addictions. Sure, I do. Maybe not to that level. Sure.
Right.
But I've had my own. I've had my own challenges and my own struggles. Again, we can't look at somebody's struggle and be like, oh, yeah, well, that's a 5 and theirs is a 10. That's
struggle is struggle.
Struggle is struggle. Thank you. Yeah, we agree on that, too. It's so hard for me when I hear somebody saying that they have come from a drug home or they've done drugs themselves. My mind immediately goes to, how the heck do you fund the drug? How do you go buy cocaine? Because cocaine isn't cheap.
Right.
I mean, not to throw rocks, but Michael Irvin, in his heyday, the playmaker from Dallas, was popped in a hotel doing drugs, doing cocaine. I look at Michael Irvin, highly successful NFL player, NFL money. That's big money, right? We know that as athletes, as you an athlete, me as a fan. That's big money. That makes sense how he could afford that.
Biggest thing for me is the way that some of them can function, bro. My dad always had a job.
What?
My dad was good with his hands, built furniture for a living. I tell you, he always kept a job somewhere up until the time where he couldn't work anymore, but he always worked, even with his addiction. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it was still things that he was doing that he knew he was supposed to do on top of the addiction. He was letting his relationships with his sons get pushed to the side. My brother, their relationship was totally almost non-existent. He didn't have him around like I did. Me and my brother, we had the same dad, but he has a different mom. Again, as far as experiencing all that, knowing that my brother wasn't having to deal with it as much, he didn't have that kind of relationship with our dad. We got older, it got a little better between them, but it never was nothing close. So I remember telling my brother one time, I said, kind of envy you a little bit, bro. You didn't have to deal with things that he brought inside the house. And him telling me he had his own things going on as far as dealing with what was going on in his house, the man who's responsible for bringing me and you in this world. I got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And not to mention, My brother is also Tar Heel alum. He was a smart when I was athletic. He was in Chapel Hill 2 years before I got there. Him helping me and showing me around places and showing me where this place was and that place. I had that advantage of being able to piggyback off him. Our father becoming what he became, it didn't stop neither one of us from doing what we were supposed to do, and we both went on to graduate from the University of North Carolina. My dad wasn't at either one of our graduations. Like, my dad saw me play one game in college. One. I wasn't reaching out to see if he wanted to come. My tickets went to my family who's really there now. His mother, my grandmother, that was my heart. My grandmother, no matter what my dad had going on, she never ever stopped coming to see me. She never stopped checking on me, none of that stuff. So she definitely made up for some of his shortcomings. I was fortunate to have her too. It was crazy to watch how it just takes over. Again, you don't understand it while you're going through that.
What a testimony to your mom.
Yeah.
To set all that aside, her feelings towards your dad. But imagine your mom's probably brokenhearted.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
She's lost the love of her life as well.
Yeah.
He chose that lifestyle over her even.
And that's another thing too. Like, you get to see how it affects the whole thing, the whole family dynamic. Now she's fighting with him and his demons. I'm their only child, so I'm seeing all of this stuff. Like I said, a lot of stuff that I had no business seeing. You feel so torn. That's my dad, that's my mom. You don't want to feel like you're taking nobody's side. As I'm getting older and I'm understanding a little bit more, yeah, like I'm feeling some kind of way to it, because I feel like you're making everything harder. The whole family situation, the whole dynamic of my family at that point, it was just a lot of turmoil, chaos. Me going to school the next day or any of that, like, it's affecting me. They never bothered my grades and stuff like that. One thing about it, like, my mom did not play no games. You understand what I'm saying? My mom never had to put her hands on me again after I was like 12 years old. Like, the last time she ever had to touch me, I was like, okay, she's not playing no, man. And I'm at this point, I'm taller than her, I'm growing. No, I was like, never again will she ever have to touch me. So discipline-wise, like, she always kept me in the right situations. She wasn't letting me go out and do the things my friends was doing, the things they were doing. Yeah, I got to hang out with my friends for sure. It was structure. You understand what I'm saying? She did the best she could of trying to raise a man without being a man, and pretty much was doing it on her own.
And that's what I'm wondering about. We already talked about Dean, in my mind, how great of a coach he was.
Mm-hmm.
Being a coach is one thing. Being a man of integrity, being a man who molded boys into men, that's a different animal altogether.
Yeah.
Listen, I think there's coaches out there that all they care about is winning. That's it. If they can win, fantastic. I know there's people that hate Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that I've heard him say about the rug kid that got popped at Las Vegas, who's serving jail time now.
Yeah, he just got denied parole too.
Killed the young lady, ran into her car. The car caught on fire. Dog's inside. She died. Dog died. Henry Rugg, I think, is the kid's name. I say kid because he's in his 20s. I'm in my 40s. That's a kid to me. Okay, not being disrespectful. That could be my kid.
Absolutely.
Some of the things that I've heard Nick Saban say about him specifically, like, where were his teammates? Where was this? Where was that? I'm like, wow, I kind of have a little bit of a respect for Nick Saban now. I don't say I love him as a fan.
Right.
As a man of integrity, I wonder about that. I never got to meet Dean personally. He passed away before I got to Carolina. Do know, again, just from what I've read, from interviews I've seen, he was just a different kind of coach. What did it mean to you to be coached by Dean Smith? How did he fill the role of a father figure in your life? Or did he?
No, absolutely. For me, I was fortunate. I had my high school coach, John Phillips, who came into my life when I was in the 7th grade. He took on a lot of, like, a second father to me, advice. And him and Coach Smith had a lot in common. My high school coach didn't curse. Coach Smith didn't curse. Both of them would get on you and chew you out. It was always respectful, and it was always constructive criticism. That's what separates guys like that. Coach Smith, everything that you read, everything that you heard is 100% true. When I tell you he cared more about us as people than he did about us being basketball players. He knew we could play. At the same time, Coach Smith used to always ask me about my mother, ask me about my grandmother. He knew my family. When he came and was recruiting me, he made sure to include them, make sure he knew their names. When he left my house, when they came for a home visit, my mom was done. We don't even want to talk to no more schools. She was like, I want you to go there. He didn't promise me anything. He said he will graduate. I will make sure he go to class. And then as a freshman, people don't know, on Sundays, you got to go to church. And if you can't find one, guess what? He go with him. I promise you, man, that man, I've never seen people get respected the way he did. Like, I've never seen it. And I mean, the respect that others had for him was amazing to me. Like I said, I got the chance to experience that. That's why all of us went to North Carolina because we wanted to play for Coach Smith, because you knew you were going to get coached. You knew you were going to be a part of a program that was successful. You're going to have a chance to play for a national championship every single year. The program was, everybody wanted to see it, the biggest draw on TV. All that comes from what he built. And it was so amazing to me when the older guys used to come back that played for him before, we were there, all that stuff. They all had the same kind of stories, the same kind of respect. And I never heard nobody say a bad word about Coach Smith. Nobody. I don't care if you was the first team All-American or all the way down to the last walk-on on the team, whoever it was. Everybody had the same story, and you got treated the same way. The respect was always there no matter what. He's just one of them dudes, like, he just was different, man. I never ever seen another coach like that in my life. In all the years I've been watching sports and all that stuff, Coach Smith was definitely one of a kind.
My dad and I haven't always had the greatest relationship. He spent most of his life in the Marine Corps, retired as a Marine. And so when he was home, I really feel like he wasn't ever really home. Physically, He was home. Mentally, he was somewhere else, wherever he had come from, in my opinion. And he's even admitted that in the last couple of years, that it was really hard to be home. You said something interesting there about Dean that I don't think a lot of people know. One, the church thing, that's news to me. That I'm today years old when I heard that. Quite literally, I never heard that before.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's fantastic. Being a person of faith, I think that's amazing. Outside of that too, the role that he played, do you have like a moment where you and Dean didn't see eye to eye, where you and Coach Smith didn't see eye? I would imagine, I don't know, newbie, I'm not a player. I've only dreamed of being one. Do you have that moment for you?
Yeah, my freshman year, we started practice October 15th. I'm thinking it was somewhere maybe like the second, third week of practice, right before we get ready to start playing games. I remember I was playing defense. He didn't like the way I got around the screen. And mind you, for me, I always took pride in not getting hit. It was some big guys out there. And I wasn't no small guy. I was 200 pounds, 205 pounds, strong. And I played with Serge Wicker, who's 7'4" almost. Maktar's 6'10", like Brendan Haywood, 7 feet. Big guys out here, man. You don't want to be getting beat up all night long, chasing whoever you're guarding around screens like that. So what happened was I might have been guarding Shaman that day. The way I went over the screen, because I felt like it was my best option, and I got through it. Serge didn't hit me. Coach Smith blew the whistle. I'm still in position, and I'm like, why he blew that? He said something to me about, yo, you got to stay attached on his hip and go under there. I don't want you going that way. Whoever taught you how to get through screens, they taught you well. He said, we do it this way here. You stay attached on his hip and you run through that screen with him. And I'm sitting there like, but what and by the time I got that out of my mouth, he hit that whistle and was like, I don't want an answer from you. You just do it the way I said do it. And I was like, okay, cool. And no, mind you, the older guys don't tell you these things when you come in as a freshman. They're going to let you learn. Don't ever answer a question if Coach Smith think he's asking you something. Don't answer. Later on that year, it was something else he blew the whistle on me for. He didn't like what I did. And he asked me something. When he asked me, I didn't say a word. I stared at him. I'm looking him dead in his eye. I didn't say a word. He asked me again. I still didn't answer the question. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, the last time I answered your question, you blew the whistle on me. You let me have it in front of everybody. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just standing there waiting for him to go, okay. I remember last time you said, just do what I say. Cool. He said what he said to me. I ain't say a word. Neil, I kept my mouth shut. He blew the whistle again and looked at Coach Ford and was like, tell him he can answer me. Then I answered his question. Once I was like, I'm like, Coach, you're not going to get me like that again. Like the first time I was like, wait a minute, this man asked me a question, but he don't want to answer. So again, listen, we've been doing it this way here. This is how we do things. And I understood it the first time. But again, when we got in the locker room, I'll never forget Antoine Jameson and Shaman was like, everybody had a story like that. To where he got you early in your freshman year, like, yo, listen, this is not no back and forth. This is not a debate. We do it this way in North Carolina. This is how I want it done. I never seen another week him get into it, having back and forth with players. Like I said, man, the respect was just there from every one of us. We all love playing for Coach Smith, every one of us.
What was your favorite Carolina moment?
Oh, man, it has to be, I went to 3 Final Fours in 4 years. My favorite moment in watching my freshman year, we were playing NC State at home. We're down 9 with about a minute 40, minute 50 left, something like that. Coach Smith calls a timeout. And again, I've heard these stories before where he's telling you in these huddles what's going to happen. And mind you, at this point, I had a stress fracture in my foot. So I'm sitting over there in the suit. I'm in the huddle. We down 9. When he calls that timeout, first thing he says is, we're going to win this game. And, a couple of us is looking like, and we've been stinking it up the whole game, dude. Stinking it up. We are getting we down 9. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't know, coach. So again, he calls our pressure defense. He says he basically almost ran it down play by play what was going to happen. Like, we're going to get a steal, we're going to score, we're going to press them again. We go back on the court. I think Shimon gets a steal. We hit a 3, puts us down 6. We right into our pressure again. And I think we get another steal and Antoine scores. So they have to call a timeout. So just that fast, that thing is down to 4, just a little over a minute left. Everything I'm telling you, like, we come back and won that game in regulation. From that day forward, I was like, this is why they call him Michelangelo. This is what the myth was that I got to see with my own eyes happen right in front of me. And watching the confidence that he put in us as players to knowing that we could go out and execute what he wanted. That was the coolest thing about playing for Coach Smith is he always put confidence into his players. And when we lost, he would say because he didn't have us prepared right. And every time we won, he gave the credit to his players. To watch that and be a part of that, like, this is the things I've seen. This is what I dreamed of. This was a dream come true for me to play for North Carolina. Because where I'm from is 30 minutes from Chapel Hill. I've been a fan as a young kid. And man, with him coming in my house and offering me a scholarship, bro, I was done with the recruiting process. I knew where I was going.
There was no doubt you knew we were going. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, if Dean Smith came into my house right now, I mean, I know he's passed, but I mean,
right.
I would probably, people would be freaked out. I'm saying if he was alive and he came into my house right now, I probably wouldn't know what to say.
Man.
I met Roy Williams in 23 when I was out there, the one game I went to in the Dean Smith Center, and I stumbled over my words. I was weeping, and I shook his hand. Again, I know he puts on his pants the same way everyone else does. I know he's not a god. I know that. I don't have a shrine of Roy Williams in my home. I don't bow down to it before every Carolina game. I'm not that weird. It's just the respect level of somebody who has done some amazing things. And really, to me, I don't care about the result of the game. I care about what they are as a person with character.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is what Carolina has always meant to me. The light blue is one thing. The fandom is one thing. It's the character of the program that has always enamored me, lack of a better word, has always enamored me of the fact of the standard.
Yeah.
Of the way they do things, the way they are, the way they want to be, the way they try to push people to the best of their ability. And that's what I'm excited about with Carolina. Don't get me wrong. Michael Jordan's amazing. Even if Jordan never went there, I probably would have still liked North Carolina because when I started liking North Carolina, by the way, was 1993. Chris Webber, you know that one. Eric Montross, Dean's second title. Knew who Michael Jordan was. I didn't know he went to North Carolina. I could care less. I knew Michael Jordan was amazing. That was it. I was like, oh, he went to North Carolina? It was an added bonus for me.
Absolutely.
As a fan. Greatest lesson you learned from Dean, playing or even off the court? What is something that you've learned from him that you have taken into the rest of your life, whether it be husband, a dad, a coach, whatever it may be?
Well, first and foremost is I learned how to be punctual by going to the University of North Carolina. They did not play about you being on time for anything. I don't care if it's just team bus. You better be on time or you will get left. For me, man, the most important thing for Coach Smith that I learned from, we used to have our sayings of the day, our defensive emphasis of the day, and offensive emphasis. So you had to know these things. We have a practice plan when we get in there, and all that stuff was on there, and the things that we were going to do for that day. We knew how long practice was going to be. Every day, he had it planned out. We huddle up in the circle on the Smith Center. They're going to ask somebody, what's the emphasis of the day on offense? It could be making an extra pass, or on defense, it could be no blow-bys. We always had these sayings, and he had a bunch of them. For me, it was mistakes. People are going to make mistakes. You're going to make a mistake as a player. You're going to make mistakes as a human being. It was always this one. This was my favorite one, and I still say it to this day. It was, what's 4 things that you do with a mistake? Recognize it, admit it, learn from it, and forget it. And to this day, I still live like that. I mean, we're going to make mistakes in life. That's just human. How you handle them and how you move on from them. And I always bring that back into thinking back to my dad's situation. He made a lot of mistakes. Did he recognize them? Did he ever admit it? Did he learn anything? Could you move on from it? Could you forget it? And that's everyday life, not just with athletes. That's anybody. Nobody's perfect. There's no perfect person. And there's no blueprint for this. You go through life and whatever comes to it, you just have to deal with whatever it is, good and bad. And so that's one thing I always kept with me. He made you understand that you're not going to do everything perfect. You're not. Not just on the basketball court, but off the court. That man knew the things that we were doing because he always was in touch. Always. We had people that check our classes, all of that stuff. Taking shots, you got people taking your stats. He made sure that we were good people. People make you feel like you have to be perfect because you put this uniform on. Nah, it's life. It's a game. It's a sport. Things are not going to go your way all the time. And that's one of the biggest things I took from him, man, is recognizing things when you do things wrong, but also it's always a good time to do the right thing. He always preached those kind of things to us, man. Like I said, it's bigger than basketball, way bigger than basketball, man. And that's why people love him and revere him the way they do. They know things that he did, it was bigger than just us coming and putting on the show for fans.
Do you wish your dad had gone to a game or watched you graduate from UNC?
Oh, I wish he would watch me graduate.
Why?
Because he's seen me do certain things athletic. And a lot of that stuff in the beginning, my early years, like I was a really good baseball player as well, really good football player. I remember being in front of my house. My dad would be catching, I would be pitching them. We did things like that early in my life. Like I said, I have those memories. All of that went away once the addiction started. So he got to see me do some great things. Me getting that degree coming from where I come from. At that point, I think only 3 people in my family ever been to college. And 2 of them was me and my brother. That to me was more important than anything athletically. My neighborhood, where I'm from, it wasn't a lot of that going on. You should say this as a child. You ask my mom, like, I'm going to play basketball in North Carolina one day. This was back when I was tearing up her clothes hangers and putting them in the door, and I'm slam dunking with socks and all that stuff. Those are the things that I used to say to her. I'm like, Mom, I'm going to do this. To her credit, like I said, being a single mother, she had no problems helping me out, getting me wherever I needed to be. She made sure I was in a position to succeed. Till this day, I talk to my mom every day. I don't care if it's for 2 minutes. I talk to her at least once a day. We basically grew up together. When my parents had me, my mom was 19, my dad was 20. So again, we grew up together. It would have been more important for me to him to see me get my degree.
I want to talk about your mom for a quick second since you brought her up. What a powerful statement to say that you grew up together.
Yeah.
She was a kid. I got a kid that's 19 now. I can't imagine her having a baby at 19. I don't want that to happen. So by the way, universe, I'm not speaking that into existence. I don't want that. You fast forward even a couple of years for her to be able to buy those Jordans for you. I'm sure that was a sacrifice on her part. Absolutely. I mean, granted, they were probably $65, $80 somewhere in there, but still back then, that was a lot of money.
Back then, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. We take that for granted. We think $65 nowadays. We're like, some people are like, Neil, I would never spend $65 on shoes.
Right.
Okay, well, fine. Eliminate that. That's mid 80s. Yeah. That's probably about $100, $120 nowadays. I would imagine. Again, I'm not an economist, so I don't know. What a sacrifice for her to sacrifice her life, her wants, her needs for you. Then the flip side of that coin, and again, maybe I'm misspeaking here and I'm not trying to insult, but your dad was selfish. Your dad thought about himself. Your dad thought about his addiction. Your dad thought about his needs, his wants, his whatevers. But your mom is like, no, it's you first, me second. Absolutely. Have you ever let yourself think about those moments?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I know now as an adult is with certain family members who still have addictions. It is so selfish. That's all they care about. They don't care about the family member over here that they're embarrassing or they need money from them or if they get in trouble, whatever needs, they're going to be calling from jail or whatever it may be. They only care about that one thing, and that's the addiction. So it is very, very selfish for sure. It's like they go hand in hand because the addiction, it makes you lose all just logical thinking process. Is weird, bro. Like, and I'm not just saying just from my dad's behalf. I have other examples that I've seen for myself with my family. That's exactly what it is. They don't care about paying their bills. They don't care if their kids eat. They're going to find a way to get to that high. It is very, very selfish. You are right. You hit the nail on the head with that one there.
I know I'm a selfish person sometimes. Because,
we all have that in us,
sure. we all have that. When selfishness starts crossing the line of hurting someone else, that's when I feel like selfishness needs to be killed. It needs to be devoured. It needs to be cut out of my life in any way, form, or fashion. What did that mean for you putting on that jersey? We talked about your 21 in the beginning, the jersey that I'm wearing. Why did you wear 21? And then what did it mean putting it on for the first time? Do you remember those moments?
I wore number 21 for 2 reasons. My first time I wore number 21 was when I was in middle school, 7th grade, Chatham Middle School. I wore number 21. Number one, my birthday is November 21st. And the second reason, my best friends, my man Demetrius Hedden, actually Demetrius got killed a few years back. He was 2 years older than me. He wore number 21 at our middle school back then. We had a little tradition of friends leaving their numbers for you. He was like, I want you to wear 21 next year whenever you play. Because back then you could only play in the 7th and 8th grade. You couldn't play in the 6th grade. So he wore it when he was in the 8th grade and I was in the 6th grade. So that next year, I come and wore 21 right behind him. He ended up leaving it for me. And actually, me and him became teammates also in high school in football and basketball. He was a senior when I was a sophomore. And so we got to play 2 years of basketball together. and 1 year of football together. So again, it was like those two reasons is why I ended up wearing number 21. It was like I said, my birthday was the 21st, and one of my best friends left me that number in middle school. And in high school, I ended up wearing number 5. When you get recruited at Carolina, what they do, June and July, before you get ready to come to school in August, they'll reach out to you and ask you, like, what numbers do you like? So for me, I picked number 5, number 21, and number 24. And it's so funny. We didn't notice at the time, like Ed Cota is my best friend. And when we met, asking the guys, what numbers did you pick? Me and him picked the same 2 numbers with 5 and 21. So he signed first, so he took 5 and I took 21. It's so funny. Like I said, bro, that's crazy. And at that point, we didn't know each other the way we've been friends like this for 30 years now. I'm August, it'll be like 30 years. Again, to know that we picked the same number, I'm like, that's crazy. That was ironic. And then, like I said, like that's my guy, man. But that's how I ended up wearing number 21.
November 21st is also the day North Carolina became a state.
Nice.
I didn't know if you knew that. Just some
I didn't know that.
Fun North Carolina facts for you. Yeah. I actually asked my wife to marry me on November 21st, 2000, because I knew North Carolina became a state that day, and I always wanted to be able to remember that day.
That's what's up.
Is that too much fandom again? I worked it in. I worked it into even my anniversary.
Everything happens for a reason, man.
I guess so. You talk about Ed Cota. He's fantastic. I told you the Ed Cota story. I hope you've told him my dog story.
Oh, I did.
Okay, for those that don't know, our second dog was named after Ed Cota.
Yeah.
And he has since passed. I tried to get my daughter. She has a dog now.
Mm-hmm.
It's her dog only. She takes care of him. My wife and I babysit the dog.
Right.
The dog's adorable. The dog's name is Tramp. I tried to get her to name the dog Hubert, and she was not having it. She was like, no, Dad, that is an awful name for a dog. And now my wife wants a dog. And I'm like, all right, so I'm thinking of some names now. Maybe I'll name the dog Newby. That sounds like a fun name. It could be a good dog name. Give me your starting 5 for Carolina all time. Has anybody ever asked you this? Is this a stupid question to ask you?
Nah, because it's funny because the times I've been asked this, I always go by the guys that I've seen.
Well, that's it. That's what I was going to say. That's the parameter. It's guys only that you've seen. You can't go back and be like, okay, I want Phil Ford.
Yeah,
no disrespect to Phil. I mean, I love the guy.
Go point guard, man. Everybody's gonna have him in.
Yeah, I want guys you watched, either you watched or you played with. How about that?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. We're gonna start with the point guard position, and I'm going with my guy, man. All-time leader, assists.
Are you going Cota? You're going Cota?
My teammate. I was his backup for 4 years. So
all right.
Every time he needed a breather, I got to go in the game.
Which wasn't often.
I wasn't often, but like I said, I enjoyed it. Luckily for me, I could shoot a little bit, so I could play the 2. So we got to play together. So
all right, so you got Cota at 1, yeah.
I'm going to add at the point.
Okay.
At the 2, even though I was a young boy, when I remember Kenny Smith and Mike together in that 84 team, man, that went undefeated in the ACC. Young Brad Daugherty on that team, bro. Michael Jordan's gonna be my 2.
Okay, you want MJ at 2? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna put MJ at the 2. At the 3, gotta go with another one of my teammates, man. I gotta go Vince.
It's so funny. My fingers were hovering over the 15 already, so I had a feeling. All right.
I'm just seeing Ed throwing lobs to
Mike.
Oh
my gosh. Can you imagine?
He's running.
It's like a dream come true.
At the 4, I'm definitely going to have to go with my guy, Antoine Jameson, man.
You're going Twan. All right.
Yeah, I'm going Twan at the 4. And at the 5, one of my favorite guys that I got a chance to know, I get to hang out with. We didn't play together, but I would have loved to. Had he stayed 4 years, maybe. But at the 5, man, I'm going to go Rasheed.
Really?
Rasheed Wallace at my 5. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I love Hansborough. We had some like Brad Daugherty, like Brendan Haywood. To me, bro, like Rasheed was just the skill, the touch, the aggressiveness, the blocking the shots.
The dunk on Cherokee Parks. I mean, come on.
Yeah, man. She just was dunking on everybody. Like he was equal opportunity dunking on whoever was under there. You was gonna get dunked on. She was just a great athlete, man. Like I would have loved to play with she. That'll be my 5.
That's your 5. All right. Who's your 6th man? Who's coming off the bench first?
My 6th man?
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
I know. That's harder, I feel like.
There's so many to pick from.
And you could go any position, so it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going to limit you
to...
I'm
going to take as my 6th man?
All right. Who you got?
Give me my man, Ray Felton, man.
Really?
Yeah, because one thing about Ray was a dog on both ends.
Yes.
Ray was a great defender.
Yes.
Ray ran the show, and if he had to score, he could do that too.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to pick between him and Ty Lawson. I love Ty Lawson. Ray, just that grit. That he gonna be in the trenches with you, man. He gonna defend his butt off. Like Yeah, give me my man Ray Felton, man.
Okay.
I love.
I saw Lawson play live.
Yeah, me too. A lot.
In Reno, and he went coast to coast in a Reno game, and I was sitting behind some Reno alum. It was New Year's Eve, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I got Roy's autograph on a hat in Reno. People swarmed him like he was Jesus, by the way. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. That man is so fast.
Yeah.
Who's getting in front of him? I just think get him the ball and just go every time. Like, you're getting twos every time. It's automatic.
They played LSU in the tournament in Greensboro.
Yeah.
I was
remember
at that game.
Yeah.
Listen, if we didn't have Ty Lawson, we probably don't win that game. But I tell you, he dominated that game, man. Dominated. It was a great game because at that time, LSU had Marcus Thornton, who played in the NBA for a long time. Like, they had a good squad. And I tell you, they couldn't do nothing with Ty Lawson. Like, he lived in the paint, just kept pressure on the defense. He crossed somebody over so bad one time. It was right to left going baseline. Oh, my goodness.
He reminded me a little of Iverson, just because again, this is no slight on him by any means, but he just was not very tall.
No.
But he was built like a tank.
Yeah,
which AI wasn't. He was built like a tank. I love the lineup you have. I'm trying to think who I would swap out.
You could definitely put Hansborough in there.
You could.
You Brad Daugherty, and you can put Sam Perkins in there.
You could.
Big Game James. You can go.
I never saw Perkins. I never saw.
Yeah, like I said, I remember Mike and Perkins because at that last year, 84, and I'm a big Kenny Smith fan. Kenny Smith was one of my favorite players as a kid growing up. It was another reason why I wanted to go to North Carolina because I used to watch him. Yeah, man, you could go. There's so many. You could put Harrison Barnes.
Oh. Yeah.
You can go Brendan Wright, Marvin Williams.
Yeah.
You can go so many ways, man. Like, you
Justin Jackson in there somewhere?
Justin Jackson.
Joel Berry II?
Even Wayne Ellington.
Ooh.
Wayne Ellington might have the prettiest jump shot I ever seen in North Carolina.
He's got a pretty one.
And we've had some shooters.
Theo Pinson somewhere on that list?
Theo's a glue guy that could defend. He can make plays.
Yep.
I love Theo's game.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Theo was perfect on that team, man. He's a perfect complement to that team.
With your 5 and your 6 with Felton, who coaches this team?
That's only one.
Is it Dean?
Me. Yeah, it's Coach Smith.
It's Coach Smith.
I seen Coach Smith in the early stages of my freshman year. I watched Coach Smith turn Ed into what he became. What people don't understand is Ed Cota averaged 31 points a game in high school in New York before he transferred to the prep school he went to. And he averaged another 21 points per game there against even better competition. But people don't understand that Ed led the state of New York in scoring when they had Stephon Marbury out there, Felipe Lopez, like all these guys you think of. He was the number one scorer in the state of New York. We played Arizona my freshman year. We played them in Springfield, Massachusetts at the Tip-Off Classic, the Hall of Fame game. I think Ed took 15 shots that night. He started. This is the only game he started our freshman. He started our first game. That following Monday, we had Sunday off. On Monday, when freshmen got picked up for practice, we were the first ones there. But Ed wasn't in the car with myself and Voss, because Voss was my man. Michael Brooker he wasn't playing yet. He tore his ACL his senior year in high school, so he redshirted our freshman year. But me and Voss get picked up for practice by the managers. Usually us 3 together, like we was all, like the 3 amigos, the 3 of us in the beginning. But Ed wasn't in the car that day, so I was like, "Where Ed at?" Coach Smith wanted to meet with him early, so we get there. Ed is already in the locker room, getting dressed and everything. I'm like, "Dude, like, where you was at?" He said, "Coach Smith wanted to see me today." He said, "Man, this man had me looking at footage of Jacques Vaughn running the point." I was like, "Jacques Vaughn?" Because Ed was like, "Yo," he said, "I took too many shots in the first game." I said, "What?" The way he broke it down to Ed was like, what you got to understand is he said, Serge Zwicker is going to be an NBA draft pick. He got to get his touches. Then we have the guy who was Rookie of the Year in the ACC last year, All-American, Antoine Jameson. I think you're going to want to get him the ball some too. And then we got this freak of nature over here who's about to have his sophomore breakout year, and Vince Carter throw it anywhere close to the rim. It's going to be a highlight. And he's going to be a lottery pick one day along with Antoine Jameson. Then he said, we also got Shamon Williams, who's probably going to play in the NBA as well, knockdown shooter, fast, quick as lightning. He said, so I need you to be more of this kind of guard than, what you used to be in, like a scoring guard. So Ed had to change his whole game, and that's how he became our all-time leader in assists. He got to the point where he saw, like, as long as I'm running the show, I'm going to still get my starter minutes, even though he was our 6th man that year. He played starter minutes. When I tell you, like, it made us so much better. It made us a much better team.
That, again, just shows the brilliance of Coach Smith, in my mind.
Absolutely. He saw what Ed could be.
He saw what he could be.
Because that's what people don't understand. And I tell people this all the time. With these high school kids, I don't care how good you are in high school. There's an adjustment on the next level is going to have to be made. You're going to have to adjust to the talent, to the skill, to the size of these guys. That you're going to have guys that 6'8", 6'9", that move like 6'2" guys. Like, trust me when I tell you, it's going to be different. Ed had to understand. He had to make the adjustments to his game, and he did. And it worked out for everybody. Like, to the point where when we had a talent drop off, Ed's assist numbers stayed the same or went up. So, again, like I said, it made him a much more of a threat as well, not just looking to score. Like, well, you could do both. He opened up something to Ed. I don't know if Ed knew he had that in it to become the playmaker that he became. Because, like I said, he was a scorer in high school.
I don't like ever going back in time because we can't change anything.
Right.
There's no DeLorean. I mean, it's fun in concept to go back and know what you knew now and take it back in time with you and be like, okay, invest in Google, buy some Amazon stock, whatever, buy Tesla, StockX. If you could have a moment with your dad one more time, maybe it's the catch in the driveway, maybe it's just shooting hoops with him, maybe it's just having a meal with him, a beer, a steak, some ribs, whatever your Carolina favorite is. What would that moment look like for you if you could have one more moment with your dad?
Oh man, it would be so easy, because what I would tell him, no matter how it ended, he don't realize how much he put in me early in my life, doing those kind of things, going fishing. My dad was a country boy, man. He loved to be outside. He loved to hunt, loved to fish and all that good stuff. I was never into the hunting and all that, but fishing and stuff like that, the sports part, things that he instilled in me early, and the things that, like I said, that we going outside and practicing, me throwing the baseball, all that good stuff. Those things, I got from him. My mom was an athlete as well, but like I said, my dad is the one that really took the time with me at that time and was like even going to the gym or going to the court, whatever it may be. Those things I still remember to this day. Like, that's actually how my first baseball coach saw me. You sign up for the city league and all that, and the guys get to draft you, whatever. My coach, Wayne Glover, at the time, that's how he saw me pitching, was in front of my house one day. He happened to be driving by. He stopped and called my dad over there and was like, yo, how old is your son? He was like, he about to be 8. He said, when you sign him up, make sure I'm going to get him on my team. And sure enough, that's what happened. So my first year playing organized baseball, not on the tee pitching, that's whose team I ended up being on. He saw me in the front yard with my dad pitching to my dad. So like I said, like, he definitely had an impact on me for sure. And I think that's what made it so disappointing, the way things ended, the way things turned. I have those memories of him doing those things, of being a father. And that's what I think hurt me the most, because I had that connection with him at one point in my life. And like I said before, like, my brother never really had it. I did. It hurt me more to lose him. And it was things that I really felt like we could have just had a conversation and we'd have been fine. We never got that chance. And like you said, like, the selfish part of the addiction, he didn't want to do that kind of stuff. Like, that was it. It was like, those things is what he wanted to do. That's just how I carried it. I got to the point where I didn't expect anything from him, so you couldn't hurt, you couldn't disappoint me no more. And that turned me cold a little bit towards. That's the part I wish that I could kind of explain to him why I felt the way I felt. And I think he would definitely understand. That's one thing I wish I could get back. Because the last Father's Day I got to spend with him was a good one. But I let him get under my skin as well, where I shouldn't have. And it went that way. God knew that was going to be my last one with it. I had no idea. Take those little things, man. And that's what I would tell him. You had a lot. You impacted my life a lot, man. And I thank you. Bad started outweighing the good. And that's how things kind of went left between us.
There's unforgiveness there, or do you feel like you've forgiven him for everything?
Nah, I feel like I let it go. Like, some days I get emotional just thinking about it. And like, I'll sit here and I'll bust out and, I'll have some tears. I know he loved me. And I know I did some things that made him super proud. But I also know that he knows that it was some things where he came up short on. I never held it against him. Even when I came home during the summers or whenever I came home from school, I would always go check on him, go say hello, go speak. Because like I said, I remember the early years. I remember the good things too, not just all the bad. And I really feel like he knew that I wasn't vibing the same way we was as I got older and got into college and all that stuff. That's when it was really bad, because I really felt like, I'm seeing my other teammates, some of them came from the same kind of situation, but some of them had that father figure in their life, pushed them and guided them into doing things and showing them how to become a man. I was envious of some of those guys because, I wanted that same thing. We all do. I always think back to that part of it, man. And should I have been a little bit more lenient? I don't know. These were things that was happening. It wasn't like I was making it up. It's just what my life was at that point. It was real life, real situation. Losing him definitely made me lighten up a little bit. He knew that I loved him, plain and simple. And I knew he loved me. That addiction, man, it's hard to beat. It ain't enough love in the world to beat that.
What is a Tar Heel?
It's funny. I know this too, but I cannot remember.
It's okay.
It's a soldier, right? My history teacher in middle school, Mr. Edwards, told us it was named after some soldiers in some war.
Yeah, Revolutionary War is where it gets its origin. But I'll tell you, if you ever run into Brandon Robinson, he couldn't answer, and your boy David Noel also could not answer. They both were stumped when I asked him that. And then when I asked him that question, history, bro. Yeah, you do. History. I hope your degree's not in history. What's your degree?
No, it's not. But you know what's funny? One time we was on the bus. And I don't know how it came up. Pat Sullivan, who's assistant there now, was one of my assistant coaches as well. He asked one of my teammates, like, yo, how did World War I start? Mind you, I played with Brad Frederick, one of the smartest guys I know, like Michael Brooker, Scott, like all these guys were smart. Nobody knew the answer. And then I tell him, I said, it was assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand. Everybody, the bus got quiet. Everybody looked back like, well, I'm not supposed to know that.
Like Newby knew that? Why didn't no one else know that? Yeah.
But nobody knew I like history and like the war stuff like that.
Yeah, all right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it also has its so it really got its origin supposedly in the Revolutionary War, and then it took hold in the South during the Civil War.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy with these Tar Heel guys. I was told a story that they couldn't afford shoes in the South and they put tar on their feet.
Yes.
I don't know what the true story is.
That tar hardens.
Yes.
It's almost like you have shoes on.
Yes, it's like a sole. Yeah, it creates a sole. I don't know what the true story is. I think it's weird.
No, I think that's right, though. That's exactly how I remember it.
That's how I remember it, and that's how I tell people. They're like, what's a tar heel? And so I tell them, I was like, well, in the Civil War, they couldn't afford shoes, so they put tar on their feet so they could walk around. Yeah. And they're like, that is not true. I'm like, no, it's true. Well, Newby, thanks so much, man. Really, truly.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I appreciate you so much. I don't know if this is weird or not. When I was collecting, I worked in a corporation. It was big. It was a car dealership corporation. And I had like toys all over my desk, little trinkets. Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the way, I think I'd gotten a turtle from like the dentist office. Kids are good in the dentist chair. Yeah. They give them a toy. Yeah. Well, I had seen a kid getting a toy from the dentist office. And I was like, well, I was good. Can I get a toy? And the dentist is like, they're for the kids. I'm like, I know, but I was good. Can I get a toy? She's like, fine, pick a toy. And there was a little stuffed animal turtle in there. So I grabbed it. I like turtles. They're fun. Anyway, I set it on my desk, went to work, and somebody came by one day and they're like, hey, what's with the turtle? Is it new? Because again, I had like a menagerie of all kinds of stuff. I was like, yeah, that's my turtle. His name's Terrence. And they're like, that's what's up. They're like, Terrence the turtle? I'm like, yeah, Terrence the turtle. I'm like, it just stuck.
It works.
And so what would happen is someone would come by and I would want to say something mean to them or just rude or just snarky or maybe a bad joke. And I would like lean into the turtle, like my ear. I would lean towards the turtle and I would say, what's that, Terrence? Oh, Terrence says you look ugly today. I was like, I didn't say it. Terrence the turtle said it.
Blaming on Terrence, he's the alter ego.
Yeah, it was like my alter ego. So you're welcome.
You know what's funny? Remember back in the day, you go in those stores and they had the little name, like license plate, they had people's names on them.
The keychains and whatnot.
Never find my name
Terrence.
spelled right. It always put the A in it, and mine is actually spelled with the E.
That's terrible.
And I'm telling you, bro, I know 1, 2, 3 other Terrences that I grew up with, and we all spelled our names all spelled the same way.
And nobody.
2 of them was my classmates, 1 was older.
No,
but when I tell you, like, and I used to always ask them, you know, because you see people come back in the summertime, the family done went somewhere, and son or daughter got a regular name like Ashley or
Tiffany
Amy or something. Yeah,
Elizabeth.
They all come back with it. I never could find one with my name on the spell right. That used to make me so mad.
Sorry, Terrence. Sorry about that.
That's crazy.
By the way, Neil is the same way. I never get it Neil, which is the way I spell it. It's always Neal.
Right.
Like Shaq. Shaq is, Shaquille O'Neal. His is Neal. Yeah, I never get the Neil either.
So you can relate. Yeah,
I can relate.
I used to be like so disappointed.
I can relate.
Like, your name is pretty common. Like I know like 4 Terrences.
I know. The turtle.
That's when I knew the world was bigger than North Carolina.
I recently gave the stuffed turtle to my daughter's dog, so now it's a dog toy.
Oh,
it's probably still saying bad things.
That long, though.
I had it that long time. All right, guys and gals, kids and campers alike, that is it. That is all. Yes, in fact, that is our show today. Listen, we got some North Carolina stuff in there. I get it. It's my show. I can do what I want. That's what Terrence told me to tell you. Not Terrence, my guest, but Terrence the turtle. I found him from the dog, got him away from him. The dog is now mad because I took his turtle away. Wondering about this before we go today is, listen, I think all of us can raise our hand to this. I think we all have kind of a challenging relationship with our parents. No one in the room is like, no, Neil, that's not me. My parents and I are perfect. We're so good together. Oh, we're the best. No, listen, I think you do have a challenging relationship with your parents, whether it be good, bad, or whatever. Just asking you this question before we go. And I think Terrence really said it well. Newby, he said it better than I could ever say it. As he said, he had that moment with his dad. He had it, and then it's now gone. So before it's gone, before it's all faded away and becomes nothing again, take a moment right now and just evaluate to yourself. Can I go sit with them? Can I go cross them off my list of people that I can't forgive? And maybe it's nothing. Maybe they haven't done anything wrong to you. Maybe they have. And if so, this week I challenge you to find your mom and dad and just ask them the question, are we okay? And just sit back and watch what happens. Ask them that question, are we okay? And listen, if they're not alive anymore, if they've passed, if they've gone on, go to the spot that they love the most and ask that question out loud. And see if you get a response back. Let me know how that goes for you. You can let me know at opspodcast.com. That's a great and amazing place. That's home base for us. You can also let us know on the socials. We're at OPS Podcast Show under Facebook, Instagram, and X. And don't forget this when we go. It's so important. It's probably the most important thing I might ever say to you, and that's this. Remember, when you walk in other people's shoes, you really do get a different perspective on life. I want to thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned till next week when, guess what? That's right. We're going to walk in other people's shoes.